Alright, so we ordered our first set of the Accelera 651 Sport, and I gotta admit, the first thing that's noticeable, these things are like extremely, the tread depths is like extremely deep. That's the first thing you notice when you get them, and these things look awesome. So I got these from Tire Streets. 651 Sports, we're going to give these a go. We've been running the Kenda KR20As. We like those pretty good, but there was a sale on these, and I think we paid like 90 bucks a piece for these, and the Kendas we've been paying a little over 100. So we want to give these guys a try. You know, when there's a chance, there's a sale, we're saving some money. So we did go ahead and buy 4 of them. So we're going to give these a shot, and once we run them, we'll give a review on them. But for now, I mean, just visually, these things are impressive. And like I say, just the tread depths is just stands out. You know, it's impressive. And I think these are like a 400 tread wear, maybe, or 200 tread wear on these, on the Acceleras. But they're, like I say, they were $91. Tire Streets had a sale on them. I don't know how long that sale is going to go on, but we did go ahead and buy 4. So we'll get these dudes on, and we may be going this coming weekend to Clarksville. I don't know just yet. So as quick as we get them on, we'll let you know more about them. But first glance, they look pretty awesome. So all right, here we go. All right, so what I got back with the transmission. I took it to Ronnie Turpin's Transmission. That's a local guy to me. He's supposed to be one of the best, if not the best, with transmissions in my area. So we took it apart. All right, let's try this again. All right, so I took it to Turpin's up there, and he took it apart, looked at everything, and this is where we're at with it. So now it wants to go in gear. And it's selecting reverse. Not sure. He told me if it didn't take reverse again, so these are the bars here. So the top one is actually the third one down. And he said if once I get it reinstalled, if it don't want to go in reverse again, this bar is bent. So there's no way of really telling without disassembling it to get it out and stuff, he said. So he said reassemble it, and if these drop in, if it won't go in again, this bar's bent. We pulled this, so if you'll see this little gap here, there's a ball in there, and he said when you take it out of gear, as such, that gap is now in here. Well, there's a ball and a spring in each one of these, and he said sometimes you can get a flat spot on that ball or something trash caught in there, and you can open that and pull that spring and that ball out and clean it out, and sometimes that causes them to stick. So he opened it, checked it, cleaned it out. It had a little bit of something in it, but not enough to bind it up. It did have some metal shavings inside here. I've cleaned that out, not bad. But he said it shouldn't have been enough to cause it to knot. So right here is where those rods set, and it holds them stationary. And this is the one where that one will set, and it looks good. So he said just reinstall it. Said to put it back together, clean the RTV, re-RTV it, put it all back together. may have just been one of them things where it just got in a bind or something got in it, trash or something. But it's the only way I know is put it back together, and if it would bind again, that rod's probably bent, then we'll have to, he told me just bring it to him and he'd order that bar and he'd just fix it up there. So we'll give it a shot, put it together. Might not be today. I gotta go buy a CD009 for my son. Found one on Marketplace, and my cousin Scotty, Stabby we call him, me and him are gonna run up and pick that up for my son, and do that. I think it's a CD009, I really don't know. We'll go look at it. But from the AR5 standpoint, it might still be okay. The gears look great. The gears look perfect. So worst case, that bar is bent. That's the only thing I have to replace. Everything else looks great. Like the gear sets are perfect. The synchros look great. So we'll go from there, and if it don't, then we'll be taking it back apart. I'm just going to clean the case, RTV it, and put it on, and then see if it'll take gear. Then we'll finish putting it all back together and try to put it in and check it every now and then, make sure it's still taking gear. And if it stops taking gear, that's where we'll stop and back up and see what caused it to, you know, stop taking reverse. But it just randomly did it. We cleaned everything out. There's no question about trash. I took 2 cans of brake cleaner and I sprayed everything. We'll clean the RTV off, the old RTV, and put it all back together, and we should be at least ready to go back. And then after that, we can, you know, see if it'll take reverse. So, all right, here we go. All right, so we're back on the AR5. Scotty stopped by, my cousin. He's filming for me. We're gonna go pick up a transmission for Dominic, so he stopped by. So I was demonstrating to him what I figured out. So when I put the case on, if you can see, this thing goes back to not locking again. When I had the case off, it would go all the way in. So it's relevant to the case itself, I figured out. So I thought maybe that rod's bent. But I kept taking the case off and on. I couldn't see where anything was touching. In my mind, I felt like something should be rubbing the case or something. Well, come to this side. Just trying, I looked at all the sensors and all this. So I backed this out. Just checking things. That's the wrong plug for this hole. And you can see the ground down spot. So wait a minute, let's try that again. Now we go back here with this bolt out. It's the only thing that's changed. Now we're in reverse. So literally this bolt was in the wrong spot, and it's caused this whole problem. So now we're back to having a transmission. So the good thing is the AR5's not bad. The bad thing is I created this whole problem. I created the bell housing being busted, the drive shaft being broken because I had the wrong plug. This is the right plug. So the good news is we got a good transmission. Bad news is when we didn't have reverse, I felt like we should move it over. And when I moved it over, the universal joint bound up, and when it bound up, it broke the bell housing and the drive shaft. And it's because I didn't have reverse, and I was trying to see if it was the pinion angle. It was literally the wrong bolts, the reason I didn't have reverse. So that created the whole problem. So that's $1,000.
Let's see the difference between the two.
So this one's a magnetic one.
And that's an inch.
Yeah,
and a half
so that's
difference.
for a bottom one. That's the magnetic one that catches all the metal shavings. So that's supposed to go on bottom. This one goes up here. So that's the only issue. That right there is the problem, 100%.
That's a great thing, though.
Well, it's a great thing I don't have to replace the transmission. It's a bad thing that it cost me $1,000 and 2 days worth of labor trying to figure it out. So it all depends on how you look at it. There's no win-win here. Well, I mean, we don't have to replace the transmission, but I do have to put it back together, and I do have my new bell housing, but once I get it back together, I'm still out of drive shaft, and I have to order a drive shaft. Or I actually talked to Ronnie Edwards, one of the guys that comes here, no Art, the one that drifts with us. But he said there's a local place here that could probably make my drive shaft. So he's took his big rig and a couple of his cars up there, and they've done repairs on it, whatever. So I think they might be able to fix my drive shaft or build me a new one. So, and he claims that it don't cost as much. So we might give that a go, and that'd be a local guy that, you know, we won't have to travel so far to get drive shafts made. We can just
Maybe he'll let you film the process too.
and maybe, well, I don't know him or anything, so we'll go up and we'll give it a shot. But I got to get this in. We're actually going to pick up transmission for my son today after we do all this mess. But then I'll put all this back together. Then I have to get a measurement, and then I can take all that up to them with my measurement, call them or whatever first and see. But then I'll have to take it up and get them to make me one. So, but yeah, we don't have to buy a transmission. I just have to stop being stupid. So that goes to show you, I've been working on cars 15, 20 years and still do something this stupid. So if you do something stupid or forget something, leave something off, this is obviously proof that it happens. So this is my own fault. All of this has been my own fault. But it's embarrassing, but it is what it is.
It's real life.
Yeah, it's part of it. So, all right, here we go.
I'm feeling high. I'm feeling high.